I think it's time to put that stuff on and put it in there. Be good to me, Clutch Masters. This is gonna be fun. We're gonna get our hands dirty. All right, so it's time to get back on the grind. The goals for today: pressure wash the transmission, make it clean, replace the shifter pins in it, attach it to the motor, drop the motor in, and get the car ready for fabrication, basically. So I don't know if I'll have the right tools to change the shifter pins, but we're gonna try and see what happens. So let's party. It's looking like a straight up snack. Woohoo, nice and clean. That feels much better. I stole Jose from Dan and the Knucklebusters crew. There's this weird thing about Jose. He loves working on cars. I don't understand that concept.
Sometimes.
So we're gonna go ahead and attack changing the shifter pins in this bad boy so it shifts nice and smooth and I have nothing to worry about. Got these shifter pins, so that's 5th in reverse. That's also 5th in reverse, also 5th in reverse, and then this is like a little pivot thing, and then these 3 pins go into the other side. Printed out some fancy instructions, and we're just gonna go ahead and give this a crack. So the internet makes it look easy, but the internet also makes it look hard, so you know how that goes.
Good luck.
So the best part about having good friends who are really good at working on cars, when they see you struggle, they just push you out of the way.
This is like literally just the control freak.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
get out of the way. Like, I can't even watch.
I swear I was hammering stuff and he's like, dude, give me this hammer, hit it in the same spot. I was like, hey, I'm hitting it in the same spot.
You hit it and it's skipping all over. I was like,
how was it again? Show me how I did it again. You got a solid punch, man.
well, maybe this time you might
I got
need
it.
the...
I got it. I got it.
I'll get back to you when we're putting the pins back in. This is the boring stuff.
3 hours later.
3 hours later, and we're here with our sick.
So with these simple tools, just...
You know how it gets when you're in the shop with your boys and everything is going wrong and you get delusional and you start saying stupid stuff? That's where we're at.
Yeah.
All right, so let me just give you the rundown of what happened. We started to change the shifter pins, all right? So we started with 5th in reverse over here, okay? We couldn't get the casings out because we don't have the proper slide hammer. So we were like, all right, f it. We'll just go on to the other shift pins. And that's these bad boys over here. So 1, 2, nice and clean, popped out real easy like they were supposed to. And then the 3rd one was already done by the previous owner and we didn't realize it. But Dan had already curled the lip over on this thing. Here's a shifter pin and spring. This is the new one. It's a nice small diameter. This is the old one. It is a bigger diameter that makes up for the space of this one. So the previous owner already did this on this one. So that was in there already. That was already done. We ruined it. Have to do it again. Took 2 or 3 hours to get it out. And now we're back to ground zero with nothing done on, on this transmission at all.
2 very boring minutes later.
This is how you know someone trusts you. I'm doing it with my eyes closed.
Got it. Oh, no.
What? You turn it into Jamo and Soupy? You just play with my emotions?
No,
Soupy, why are you guys doing this to me?
Where are my cookies?
So after you get that bad boy in there, you take the spring and the pin.
Dropping it straight down through there.
And the wrong one.
Away. Oh, wow. That was satisfying.
Boom!
Yeah, that was satisfying. Push right here. Yeah, if I can like keep real massive pressure on it, it's good. It's in.
So don't go buy a slide hammer tool or the BMW drift tools. Just get yourself a Danger Dan and Jose.
Works. We're good. At least those couple years. Yeah.
Dan and Jose pretty much saved my night. Helped me change all the shifter pins. So we did 1st through 5th and reverse. It was a pain in the ass, but we got it done. I also picked up the clutch fork, installed the clutch pivot pin from Beamer World, It's a stainless steel one, I guess the stock one. It's like some weird Delrin or plastic and it explodes all the time. So you get rid of that, replace it with that nice stainless piece. Got a brand new fork from BMW, but I forgot to get the clips. So I gotta go back and get the clips. And I also gotta go get a slave. I ordered the slave with the clutch fork, but they gave me a repair kit instead. So I gotta go back and get that exchange. But the goal for now, let's get this Clutch Masters flywheel and clutch on. And depending on how quickly I get that done, we might slap the transmission onto the motor. And then depending on how fast I get that done, we might slap the transmission and the motor into the car. Clutch, pressure plate, flywheel, all slapped onto the motor. As you can see here, we got this nice K-Miata ZF transmission to K24 adapter. Nice thick piece of billet. Slapped a nice Clutch Masters flywheel, clutch and pressure plate on there. So that thing is pretty much ready to accept the transmission on there and be done with that. But first, these are subframe spacers. I gotta pop the subframe down, slip these right in there. And that spaces the subframe to give a little more clearance to the oil pan and stuff. And then I need to take off this steering rack mount and cut, not this side, but the other side off and nut and bolt it through. You basically pull the subframe bolts out. Luckily I had enough wiggle room to just pull the subframe down. So then you take this spacer, slide it in there. So I need two hands, but you get the idea. As you see, that's stock. Cut this side off, threw a bolt in this way so the head is on this side, which allows more clearance. Yeah, instead of that, you got that. It's perfectly in there, no problem. All set. I'm gonna put this back on and then I think we're ready to put the motor in. So I'm gonna try to get the motor in a 240 today, but in the meantime, sending the Corolla off to get painted by West Jones Auto. These fine fellas right here, gonna take care of my baby. Figure we make it look good and then go from there. Let's get this loaded up first and send it.
Definitely.
Sweet. The agenda now, we got a motor. We got a Clutch Masters clutch and flywheel. K-Miata transmission adapter. The Deatschwerks transmission mount just showed up. I think they cut me a special billet, daddy, because this thing is bad. It's spicy. I don't deserve this. I'm not worthy. Of course, their mounts are billet. Blow-off valve. Peep game. Decided to clash my colors a little bit. Got this nice purple race port. The wastegate's gonna be purple also. The Gen 5 race port blow-off valve has been wonderful on the Twerk Stallion, so I figured I should use it on the Simple C-Time Stallion also. Another beautiful thing that came in today, the K-Miata rear-wheel drive K24 intake manifold. Woo-hoo, all the VTEC. This is where all the VTEC goes, right there. I think it's time to put that stuff on and put it in there. Be good to me, Clutch Masters. ZF transmission. If you're wondering why, it's cheap, it's light, it's cheap, it's light, it's cheap, it's light. Gearing's great, holds power. So let's do this.
Yeah, just pop that forward. Yeah, there we go. Now we can move that spline. Oh, see? See that? Oh, yeah.
Looks like the K-Miata adapter plate works flawlessly. By design, I have to actually trim the bell housing. If you get the Deatschwerks swap kit, the instruction manual tells you that. So I'm gonna save that for later just because I wanna get the car in and ready for fabrication. But I'm pretty sure you just have to grind out the inside of this quite a bit just so the starter can clear perfectly and still grab the flywheel right there. So I'm pretty sure you just trim basically this all the way down and it should be good. We'll do that another time because this isn't the permanent install. This is just to get the fabrication done. We're one step closer to getting the motor in, but I'm excited to see this motor sitting in this car. Fabrication first, make it run, get the car dialed, then paint and style. So we're right around the corner.
Ooh, okay, yeah, okay, now go, okay, now turn it. Really?
Lock it or what?
No, go that way. Keep going.
Wait, which way?
This way.
That's the way I was going.
It was another way. Now you have it.
So this way?
Now that one's up, you see? You gotta go that way.
Yeah, that's the way I was going, and then you told me to go.
Ah, shit, my bad.
All over the horizon.
Yeah.
Work that ass for daddy. I see it and it's fat and I need it in my life. Gotta.
The K24 fits. TF work mount kit did its job. Shout out to Brian for his engine hoist leveler thing. He's probably gonna get mad when he sees me using his stuff without asking. So let me just go ahead and apologize now. Don't fire me, please. I don't know if I'm gonna go too far today. I like to go home and enjoy my home time. So tomorrow, I'm gonna drop the motor in, get those 2 bolts on, get the transmission mounted up, and then I'm gonna mount up the turbo, mount up the intake manifold, and just kind of eyeball everything and talk to Serge over at J-Town Fab. Just need to get his eyes on it so we can get this party started. I'm stoked. I don't know if you're stoked. You stoked, Johnny?
It's a little hurt time.
Yeah, it's time to go hang on my baby.
Next time on Unpro's Garage.
A lot of room for activities. We're doing a Part Shop Max high mount intercooler. I'm using the REBILLET dual caliper kit, Deatschwerks, 1000cc. The Part Shop Max calipers are looking gravy on here. I want them in my, woo, woo.